You know some of this stuff here. That's the famous bass, Corabi. That you and I, do you remember when we did the Eddie Van Halen? John, I had Eddie Van Halen intonate this bass. I go, John, I go, watch this, John. Nobody will ever believe that Eddie Van Halen's intonating the bass. You were standing right next to me. Do you remember or no? Yeah. And that's when I went to Eddie. He's hitting the E string, running in the living room to the piano, running back, hits the A string, running to the living room, coming back. And then I go, Eddie, you want the guitar tuner? And he goes, here, Stefan. You don't want the guitar tuner? And you were with me on that.
Dude, I think I talk about it in my book when Eddie was sitting there. If you remember, we were at the pool table in his house, and he took his guitar and he cut all the strings, and then he just restrung it. He was like pulling the strings and was tuning it. And Eric Dover, somebody said to him, hey, maybe it was you. You're like, hey, do you want a tuner for that? And he's like, nah, I tune it by ear. And then he went out, he no tuner. He just did his guitar, boom, walked in, plugged it in. And I think it was Dover goes, dude, you tuned, like, seriously, you tuned it by ear. And he goes, you want to see? And he stepped on a pedal, plugged his guitar in, and it was perfect. I'm like, fuck. Dude, no tuner. Just,
you know, Corabi, we're going to start the show because you got a new book out right here. It's Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, John Corabi. Millions that are watching, we got to be professional. Now, the only problem is, where is my intro? Hold on, because without an intro, there's no...
Dude, Michael Monroe wouldn't put up with this shit.
It all starts now. Don't touch that dial. You don't want to how to
I cannot tell you how many times I've had somebody go, hey, dude, send me a promo photo. I want to do something with you for the book. And I sent them that one.
Well, everybody, John Corabi does have a new book. All kidding aside, this is the interview with John Corabi, and we're supporting Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, John Corabi, that he has his book. It's been out, everybody, and get it out. Links are down below in the description if you don't have it. And it's nice. It's now available. It's a nice read on the plane, on the toilet, wherever you are. John has all the dirt. Spilling.
Well, some. Yeah.
Now, in the comments, I see Debbie has the book. Post in the comments, Debbie or Ashley, if you have the books there, what's your favorite story in the book? And if you have a question for John, please put it in here, and I'll pop it up for you guys as well. But in the meantime, John has his book out. Links are in the description down below. And how about music, the new music as well?
I'm actually working on some new stuff now. I already have, like, I've got a bunch of stuff already in the can that I gotta get on Marty and see if we can start mixing and getting ready a third tune. But I'm actually working on a new song right now. It's kind of very Zeppelin-esque, or I would like it to be. That's how I hear it in my head. But I've probably got 5 new ideas that I got to send over to Marty and try and help him or have him help me finish them up and use his expertise. So it takes me a while still. I'm like, I'm still really new to the whole Pro Tools thing. So I'm still very caveman about everything. So
yeah.
I get it to a certain point, and then I got to get Marty to do his thing, and he's got way more shit too. Like, I'm limited to the amount of acoustic guitar sounds and piano sounds, and guitar sounds and drums, and Marty's just got this massive library of shit. So a lot of times I'll do a drum thing and he'll just take my drum programming and run it through a different sound that he's got. So we'll see.
When you talk about Marty, address who we're talking about so the audience knows. Marty.
Yeah, Marty's, and again, not just an amazing producer, just an incredible songwriter as well. Like Marty co-wrote Jaded with Steven Tyler. But he did, God, I think he did 9 Lives, Just Push Play. He did Steven's solo record. He's worked with Def Leppard, Mötley Crüe, Saints of Los Angeles. He's done a bunch of shit. And then he even does like country stuff. So he's just a really well-rounded writer on top of being a great producer. So I'll get a song together and put a melody and write lyrics for it. And then I'll take it to Marty and he'll go, well, I really like your melody here, but this is what I would do. And then he'll throw another idea at me and then we'll change it and we kind of tweak it as we go. But he's just, I love working with him.
How did you guys hook up, you and Marty, meet in the beginning?
You know, it's funny. I met Marty, and this is actually Marty's recollection because I didn't remember this at first, but I moved to Nashville and I ran into Marty, and you know, I had known about him. I had known about Marty through my manager. My manager's also mutual friends with both of us. So I knew that he was working on Brother Kane. I knew that he had started working with Aerosmith. And I ran into him in Nashville. And he came right up to me and he said, oh, hey, dude, you know, I'm never going to forget something about you. And I was like, oh, you know, like I was like, okay. He goes, years ago, you were in the Scream. And my band opened for you, and I guess we did like 3 or 4 shows on the West Coast. And he said our crew guys, the Scream's crew guys, were given that shit about how much room they could have and how many lights they could have and how many of this. And I was like, So I went to our tour manager and I said, give them whatever the fuck they need, like space-wise. You know, I wasn't into that whole open act, whatever. My thing was people are paying $20 to come in and see a show. Both bands should be great. So he said, I'll never forget that. You went to bat for us and made your crew guys treat us right. So, and then we were friends. And then when the Dead Daisies contacted me and asked me if I knew of any producers in Nashville, I was like, Marty Fredrickson and Michael Wagner. Pick one. Those are the 2 that I would work with. So they contacted Marty and he wound up doing 3 or 4 records with the Daisies.
Wow. Wow. So you got him, you're the one, you were the key to the door. You let them,
you know, I don't know if he was already on their list, but when I mentioned him, they reached out to him and they said, you know, and again, my thing was, I love a great producer, but I like producers that know how to construct and deconstruct and reconstruct a song. So I knew Marty was a great songwriter. So it would be like having an extra set of ears and an extra talent in the room. So I really wanted to work with him. And then after that, when I left the Daisies, I said to Marty, listen, man, I'll work around your schedule. I want you to help me just put a kick-ass record together. I want you to join together with a band. So he's like, all right, no problem. So he's a great dude.
John, You know what? Debbie's put Dead Daisies. I don't know if you follow the news out there, and I'm not one to start drama and get a tag out there. You know, not me, not this show. But I see Dead Daisies. She's a fan.
Yes.
And I see that, as we know, Glenn Hughes is not in the band at the moment. He had to take a little resting time because he's got the heebie-jeebies out there.
I just texted Glenn last night. I saw on his page, Glenn and I are friends on Instagram, and Doug as well. And I saw Glenn's thing that he said, "Oh, I have COVID. I'm going home." And Doug did a video. Doug did a video that said Glenn's got COVID, so he's going home, and they got the keyboard player from Whitesnake to fill in for him. So I just reached out to Glenn. I said, hey, buddy, hope you're feeling better. Go home, get some rest, pour yourself a cup of Earl Grey tea, and, get back out there. I'm sure the fans would love to see Glenn get out there and do his thing.
Yeah. Now, let me note, did they give you a phone call to say, hey, John, Glenn's ill. Do you want to come and fill in a couple of shows? Nothing.
No, I haven't talked to those guys since I have zero contact with those guys since 2018.
Wow.
No, we don't.
That's it. Nothing.
I got nothing.
We got nothing. All right. You know what? Well, wish everybody well.
This is a great cup of coffee, though.
Hey, so you're telling me about the Dead Daisies. What's your response about you not getting the phone call to do fill-in dates?
Listen, they're in Europe. I'm in Nashville, back and forth to Nashville and Florida. So they got to do what they got to do. The keyboard player from Whitesnake was right there. They already had Yogi out with them, doing some stuff with them. So
Yogi that was in Buckcherry and
So he was kind of a honorary Starfucker member.
Right here, John. Look at this. You are known to be Blabbermouth, the Rock Pit, the Ultimate Classic Rock. Look at these things. John Corabi, I learned a very hard, valuable lesson when I ... What is that about? That's from January 8th.
Actually, the lesson that I'm learning is that every time I open my fucking mouth, there's like 9,000 fucking people that comment on these things that just tell me that I should probably go back to truck driving, or I should go back to my night job at 7-Eleven, whatever. It is what it is. It is
okay. So that's okay. That's a good lesson.
Honestly, Stefan, I'm like, God damn it. Like, I can't say anything without somebody. It's Blabbermouth, and then it's Loudwire, and it's the Metal Den, and like they'll take like a sentence and cut it down to like 5 words and then run with it. And then it's like I wind up looking like the asshole. And I just said, you know what? I don't give a fuck at this point. It is what it is. It's like I'm kind of in a I'm not complaining.
Complain. They love it. You'll get me click views. Clickbait.
I'm kind of in I'm in a no-win situation, because if I say, if I get asked certain questions about any one of the bands or things that I've done, if I get asked any questions and I say, you know what, not going to answer it, move along. Well, then they run with that. And it's like, oh, John Corabi's ungrateful that he's, and I'm like, God damn it. Like, I can't fucking win. Yeah. So I'm just like, you know what? Let them say what they're going to say. I don't give a shit. I'm over it. Whatever. But it's just amazing to me. Like, almost daily, I get up in the morning, I have some coffee, I go out, I check my emails, and I get that news feed in my phone. And almost daily, it's like, John Corabi said, and I'm like, what the fuck did I say now? You know what I mean? It's crazy. So.
Yeah, I noticed that about you. You're a little of a troublemaker in the rock and roll community.
Oh, well, somebody's got to do the dirty work.
You know, I mean, look at this, John. You really do make the news everywhere you go. Look at this. Interview John Corabi, solo artist at ex Mötley Crüe to Scream. You get the ultimate classic rock. John Corabi insulted by the betrayal in Mötley Crüe's The Dirt. That was in November. Ex Mötley Crüe singer John Corabi recalls one beef. Look, John Corabi reveals he was a truck driver after Mötley Crüe. They love you. Like, that makes the news that you were a truck driver. It's crazy.
I don't know why. You know what I mean? It's weird. Like, I talk about it in my book, and well, and you were very aware of all of this, but there was a point where Ratt had, like, Warren did not want to tour. He's like, I'm done. I think it was around 2003 or so. He wanted to take a bit of a break. So we took a year off. I was going through that really ugly divorce with Layla. And I was just like, you know, I'm a dad, first off and foremost. I've got bills to pay, child support, like all this shit. So I initially, I wanted to figure out, because I've always been, and I still am, I am a little Rain Man-ish with trains and trucks. Like, I'm literally the dumbass that'll sit at a railroad crossing and count like every boxcar that goes by, you know. So I've always been fascinated with those guys that drive the, like, engineers. So I had a year off, and I said, I just need a break. I need to get out of town for a little bit. I need to clear my head. So I went online, and or not online, but I went through the newspaper. I made some phone calls. I'm like, hey, just out of curiosity, how long does it take to get a license to drive a train? And they're like, oh, it's like 5 years. So I go, oh, okay.
Wow.
So
5 years, huh?
Oh, dude, because, you know, there's all these FDA regulations and all this shit. And then I said, well, okay, well, you know what? I've always been fascinated with big rig trucks. So I went and made some phone calls, and I found out that you could get a license to drive in like 3 weeks. So I said, okay. So I took like $3,000. I drove out to San Bernardino. I went to this school, never said a word to anybody, never talked to anybody. I just did my thing. I got my licenses. And then there was another place in San Bernardino called Werner Trucking. And I just walked in, handed them my paperwork, and they said, okay. They hired me. I met this guy. I went out on the road with him. And I basically, for like a month, I drove with that guy until he felt that I was comfortable enough on my own. And then they gave me a truck, and I went and I drove for like 8 months all around the United States. And it was fucking awesome. I had my guitar with me in the back, and I literally just kind of, I got a lawyer. I got a lawyer to do my divorce shit. And I went out and I made a shit ton of money. Never talked to anybody. Sat there driving, smoking my cigarettes, and thinking. And then 8 months later, Ratt called and said, hey, we're going out with Poison. I was like, all right, I'll be right back. I took the truck back, handed the guy the keys, and I said, sorry, I'm going on tour. And at that point, he goes, what do you mean on tour? I'm like, I'm a musician. I play guitar with Ratt. Sang with Mötley Crüe, like all this shit. And
he had no clue. They had no clue.
No, because I literally, at that point, I didn't have a beard. So I grew a beard out, and I just took all my hair and I pulled it up, and I just wore a baseball cap all the time. And I never said to anybody, you know, I never told anybody anything. So I literally worked for that company for like almost a year, and nobody knew anything about my history at all.
So you were like that show Undercover. So you like went undercover. Undercover rocker. That's a kind of a good show. That would be stars that go undercover on jobs and people don't know that that guy was the guy in Mötley Crüe or that guy was this guy, you know, that would be a great show, right?
I think so. I did it.
John!
So we need to develop this.
Dude, it would be a great, I mean, I would watch it. People would watch the show. Picture it. You and the thing, this guy played with Mötley Crüe, did this, did that, right? He's undercover. He's going undercover. He's going to work with kids that are younger than him. They're not going to even know this wild life that he led. You know, picture like Steven Adler going undercover at a Starbucks. It would be great. Yeah, you want a latte? It'd be the best. It'd be the best show. Undercover. All right. I don't got no skim milk here. Yeah. It'd be the best show.
Eric Dover. What do you find in the coffee? Wait, where did I put the cup?
Slim Jim Phantom. Undercover Phantom. It would be great. Picture Slim Jim making coffee.
There's a TV show here, buddy. I'm telling you.
John, I'm not going to you're not doing this with nobody else. It's documented here with ADIKA and Corabi. It would be great because you and I would be very funny together.
We could both, yeah, that's it. We just sit there. We go out as a team drivers on a fucking semi.
That was John Corabi. Do me a favor. Subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of John, click on the box that pops up right there.